Hello everybody and welcome back to this Cities Skylines playthrough for complete beginners. Things are going fantastically. Things are going fantastically. We're making a lot of money. We have most of the tools unlocked. Public transportation is getting used. That's always really great. I don't think we have any actual traffic concerns at the moment, which is always a huge feat and very exciting. Yeah, it's at 90. Okay, it just bounced back to 93%. And don't get me wrong, we're getting a lot of cars on the road. There's a lot of cars moving around. But they're spread around enough that we're not really getting actual traffic. And I think our public transportation system is helping quite a bit with this too. Quite a bit. In fact, if we go in here, what is it going to say? How many car trips are we saving? 20%? Come on, hundreds of people moving about? I think we're doing better than 20%, but the game's telling us 20%. 7%. Yeah, I'm not sure how this is calculated. 28% there, though. Not sure how it's all calculated. So for the most part, it's funny because I think things are going to be winding down eventually with... Oh, that's actually a problem. We really do need to get water out here, as this is probably operating at a huge inefficiency. Not having... Now we have a lot of room for garbage here, so let's empty these out. Actually, you know what? Let's have that one working. Let's empty this one out, because this one's full, this one's not full, so... But eventually we might want to get to the point where we just get rid of these things. Not enough... I'm assuming these are probably not enough workers, right? But I'm not 100% sure what's going on here. But it's probably because people don't want to work in these bits of industry. Now we probably... Yes, what we need to do is we need to... It's saying educate. But really what we need to do here is get these to level up. Because if these level up, then we're going to be able to have highly educated people working over in the industry. And we're going to be making a lot more money from these as well. So let's give these people a couple parks. Make them really, really, really happy. Maybe we give them a bouncy castle. Is this the second bouncy castle we're giving them? I don't know, let's give them another bouncy castle. And they really, really, really like fire. Like, you can't give them enough fire. Give them more fire. Speaking of fire, some of our neighborhoods actually would like a little bit of fire as well. We might need to come in with like a proper fire station, not just a firehouse in this area here, depending on what kind of things we actually build here. I haven't really given it too much thought what's going to be going into this area. I mean, I think we're going to need a large commercial sector. These abandoned buildings are actually kind of annoying because, I mean, it's not like they're going to become unabandoned. You just have to wait for them to destroy themselves and then rebuild on top of these areas. There is a really nice... I know we haven't talked about mods much, but there's a really nice mod that automatically gets rid of those, and it's a lot more relaxing and peaceful when... when those buildings are just automatically taken care of. Like, we don't care. Like, it's part of the natural cycle, right? It's really part of the natural cycle that some of those buildings are going to be getting abandoned every once in a while, so... Here. Sometimes the zoning wigs out, right? We've seen that before. Like, why are these little blocks not zoned? Again, when you're messing around with the roads, sometimes you can get some weird zoning. Let's double check that there's no traffic lights here that we don't want. Okay, there. People are moving in at a furious pace, actually. Like, we're at 10,000 pop. We can go down here if we're actually curious what's coming up next. We can actually go here and we can see, okay, at 12,000 we get the crematoriums and the water treatment plants, which is a more eco-friendly sewage. Purifies 85% of the pollution in sewage. 85%, but not 100%. It'd be a while before we can get solar power plants, which those are pretty nice. Crematoriums are really, really cool because those are essentially the incinerators for death care, right? Graveyards fill up. Graveyards fill up. Crematoriums don't. They just process the bodies. Could be I mean, this is a delicate balance putting in commercial in these areas. I mean, any little bit of it, you know, a little bit too much commercial, we could create a huge traffic issue here. Again, we're buffering with offices, which help with noise. Well, they don't like remove noise pollution, but they create a separation between the residential and the noise producing commercial. And they also provide high-paying jobs for the citizens, while not really contributing much to traffic because they don't create those delivery trucks. They don't draw delivery trucks. They don't create delivery trucks. So it's just people that have to get to work, just regular people getting to work. We really want to have our people educated, I think. So at this point, we have more people eligible for high school than we have capacity for people. Same with elementary school. Not university, though. So we might want just another... Might just want another elementary school. Because this is a pretty high dense area. And it's only going to get even more high dense. Let's build something out here. Now that's going to be complaining of power in the short term. Once these buildings fill in here, it'll be fine. Did we already do water for this area? Not completely, but we did some. Okay. How is the water actually doing? We are going to need more water here. That's right. Part of the reason why these people don't like where they live is because the noise pollution that we're getting, that we're creating from the water. So let's actually move our water. I think it's time that we can move it over here. Of course, the polluted water is down here. We could see polluted water in this map mode very easily. So there's not... Oh, actually, this creates pollution. Let's have this up above the incinerator, just in case. Everybody's going to be complaining about water here in a quick second. Let's get all this hooked up. Now the funny thing actually is I just realized the incinerators actually produce power. They produce power. For now, though, we could have the incinerator actually powering. Okay. A little bit of a scare there, but everything's going great. How are the parks looking? Parks are so cheap, there's really no reason. You know, one thing there's a couple of things we haven't actually looked at yet. Well, we've kind of glanced at the policies, but we've actually been unlocking more policies. So we can look here and see, okay, what's going on here? We can enable any of these for our cities, and we can also enable these based on specific districts. Like, let's say, maybe we wanted to give our high density areas an educational boost. We could actually come in here, create a district, and we can actually click on the Pearl Park, go to policies. Now anything we click now that we're in this menu system here for Pearl Park, anything we clicked is only going to be applied to Pearl Park. So boost the education budget and make young adults automatically choose education over working. So we can get these people into school. Prioritizes education over working for young adults, but it increases the education budget by 25%. But again, it's only going to be affecting the educational abilities and the people in this that live in this district. But that actually seems like that'd be kind of a good thing in this case. So let's do that. It's going to be expensive, but that's okay. Let's do that. But let's say we wanted to do something. We could do public transportation, make it free. But right now, that is something you would probably do if you felt like this could help with traffic issues, right? Getting more people on the public transportation system, alleviating traffic. Right now, we don't have a traffic issue. People are using the public transportation. It's cool when people use it more. That's always exciting. But I think public transportation is actually a way that a city can make a good amount of money. So making it free might not be great. Recreational use. If we look at this, there's actually a lot of benefits for this. There's really no downside. I think the only downside is it increases the police budget by 15%. But you get more tax income, increased tourism, which we haven't really talked about tourism yet. That's the second thing we need to talk about, I guess. It reduces the crime rate itself. It increases the police budget. I'm not sure what the thematic reason for that is, but it actually decreases crime because people doing this are no longer committing crimes. So I typically like to hit this button. Smoking ban, that's always kind of a fun one because, I don't know. But it makes people less happy. Decreases happiness, but it increases health. We don't need to hit that. We don't need to make people unhappy. Pet ban decreases, like we don't need to ban pets. That's ridiculous. So, but what we could do is, right, we could, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. We could actually go in and we could ban smoking like in our commercial areas or something like that. Just thematically, right? That actually would be kind of make sense. But I don't think it would, because this affects health, the benefit to doing this is that it affects health. By doing this in our commercial districts, no one lives in the commercial districts, so it wouldn't actually do anything. It would just purely be for flavor, thematic flavor. We can actually do a couple things here. Industrial space planning, which means double the amount of goods are produced by industry buildings. That's kind of crazy. That really ramps up on the traffic demands, right? Twice as many trucks are pumping out of these factories as normal. That's insane. You make a lot of money, but there's a lot of trucks on the road. High-tech housing, you know, we can sort of subsidize people to make their houses more smart and high-tech and all that stuff. It increases their land value of the homes, which then they'll pay us more in taxes, but we also have to pay a bit just to have this per residential building. So it's kind of a balancing act whether or not that's going to be worth it or not. Usually I do like hitting high-tech housing eventually, but we don't have to do that now. We can actually ban high-rises, which is kind of cool in certain areas if we wanted to actually ban a certain area and prevent large buildings to be built there. And we can also ban heavy traffic. So we can actually prevent delivery trucks from going through neighborhood zones using this heavy traffic ban. Force them to use roads that are designed for them rather than using roads that are designed for the residents of the neighborhood, right? Of course, as we're just kind of chilling out talking here, we're making $15,000 a week, which is actually kind of crazy. I'm kind of scratching my head. How are we making this much money? So the other thing we haven't looked at yet is the unique buildings. The unique buildings. Now, these here are from a free thing that you can download for free from Steam. So they're little Asian-themed tourist sites and such. I can't. The Chirp X launch site. I'm not sure what this comes from. I'm not sure if this is just in the base game or what. This is a really large but very fun building. You can actually launch rockets from it and stuff. A lot of fun. Match Day. This is another free DLC. Anyone can get this and actually build a stadium. The cool thing about this stadium is it actually hosts football games every so often, and you actually, like, you could put 750 Sims will flock to this thing on Match Day, and it creates a bunch of traffic issues. It's really, really fun to try to deal Try to optimize traffic to the football stadium. And the team, if the team wins, you get a lot of money too, which is cool. It's a fun building. That's a little football game event that happens every couple weeks in your city. We can build these. These are unique buildings though. These are one and done. All these buildings are one and done. And a lot of the times they attract tourism. They also just provide happiness, right? Just like parks, they're going to provide happiness to the area. But some of these also create a bunch of noise, right? There's a noise pollution here because they're tourist sites. They tend to be kind of noisy areas. We got Grand Mall. Now, whether or not these actually make a profit, I'm not actually 100% sure. A lot of these are just for attracting tourists and also making people happy. But they're really fun. They're just ways to give, of course, some city has unique buildings as well. We could maybe try to put a mall right in here. Maybe that would be really cool in this loop. That'd actually be really neat. Of course, to do this, we're going to have to get some flat. We're going to have to get a straight road in here somehow. We got the Opera House. We try to figure out a good spot. So we could think about where we want to put these things. And I haven't given it any thought yet. No thought whatsoever. In fact, our area doesn't really we haven't really optimized any of these areas to support. I mean, this might be okay. The only problem is I think these are residential buildings, are they not? No, these are offices. Okay, cool. So, putting something right here I think would be kind of neat. And we'll actually be unlocking these. Okay, so what's going on is, I think once you unlock these, it saves for future cities. So if you're looking at this, you're not going to have all this stuff unlocked. Some of these will be unlocked though. Some of these will be unlocked, but you can see that the ones that you don't have unlocked, they have certain requirements. Some of them are really goofy, like the Mall of Moderation. Have an average pile up of garbage per building at 25. So basically, to get this, you have to literally turn off your garbage collecting facilities and just let your city descend into chaos. So you have to do some really goofy fun stuff. You can save and then unlock it, I guess, and then, in case something goes wrong. Some of these I haven't even unlocked because they're so goofy, like a crime rate over 50%, but they're kind of fun, right? These are just things that you can work on if you'd like. I'd like to have 1,000 abandoned buildings in your city. Wow. Wow. Would be cool to have the observatory though, for sure. So these are the ones that I've kind of unlocked maybe in previous cities and stuff. We got an aquarium here. We got a bunch of different cool stuff. So we could think about maybe I don't know. Maybe we want an opera house here. Let's do it. Plop down an opera house. It's not the best, most optimized spot for it, but I think once all this is filled in, it'll look kind of nice. It'll look kind of nice there. Uh-oh. Not enough educated workers. So these are level 2, level 3 even commercial zones, and they're requiring highly educated workers. So we really do need to get people into, in fact, unfortunately, we're actually getting abandoned buildings here because we can't get enough workers into these areas, which is, again, very unfortunate. Kind of doing this pattern again where the high density is sort of curving around and the low density is coming around too, and I don't know, I'm just kind of playing with it, playing with it a little bit, but I think that'll look nice. Of course, I mean, it looks like the city's descending into chaos, but it's not. We're making tons of money. We just need more educated workers. This is why I really like the automatic bulldozing mod, because it just gets rid of all these symbols. We don't care. We don't care. This is where we're just kind of chilling out. We're just working on different little projects. Thinking about, okay, what should we be building? What do we want here? Do we want anything around this roundabout? We want stuff on the inside and the outside. Lots of questions here. Lots of questions. How's the industry doing? We do want this. Nice, it's going to level 3. Fantastic. Educate. Covered by more services, huh? These ones are complaining about services, but these ones that are a bit closer into here, complaining about education levels. Let's go through the services here and just kind of see what we're dealing with. So, if we believe, what am I saying? If we build a police, there's a pretty good chance, I think, that we'll get a lot of these to level up. It'll just make them all happy. We don't need police over here, really. But if it makes them happy, then great. It's goofy, too. I will say that they do like schooling. If we build this school here, they'll get very, very happy. But it's ridiculous to me that you should build school next to your industry like this. And the funny thing is, Sims will actually travel over here to go to school from here. But I don't like doing that. I'd rather just give them stuff that makes thematic sense. You know, we'll give them some parks, give them a lot of fire, give them maybe like a single medical clinic, which again kind of seems kind of weird. Why do we have a medical clinic in the middle of this area? But it is what it is. It is what it is. Our garbage, holy cow. We are producing 130,000 units of garbage, but we're only processing 96,000. We need another incinerary. We need another one of these. That's we're going to be overflowed for garbage here. We have plenty of garbage trucks. Like, we're not using all of our garbage trucks, but part of this, of course, is because we're actively emptying this this landfill site. Oh no. Traffic for the first time. What's going on here? No, it's actually fixing itself. It's a good. There's a lot of cars, and a lot of these are garbage trucks. A lot of cars, and a lot of them are garbage trucks. We really do just kind of need to get rid of these landfills and just process all of our garbage. It's very hard to get people to work over here because you need uneducated people. Well, our people are getting educated. So, in fact, we have college graduates that are working at the food factory right now, and that's just the sad reality of the situation. Big city. Okay, we have the crematoriums, which is really exciting. That's all we're really, and the water treatment facilities so that we can produce clean sewage, more clean sewage. Building more offices here. Maybe just a few offices here is a little bit of a buffer. That's actually, there's going to be noise issues here. There's no doubt about it. There's going to be noise issues there. Opera House is a noisy building. Maybe we don't zone that at all. Maybe we actually just come in with like a nice pedestrian pathway and little bits of trees and stuff and try to decorate around the Opera House a bit. But you know what? I think we are going to go in with high density commercial here. For sure. I don't know if we're going to do anything on the middle of this round, but keep zoning here. All this has been watered. Nice. We're kind of filling up our initial square, right? This is the initial square. Why we ended up building out because I think we were just, yeah, we wanted to kind of like optimize this pathing a bit here. Check on traffic. 94%. It seems to be almost going up. Which is crazy considering there's some legitimate traffic going on in the industrial. This is kind of like harebrained, to be honest. Like, this is not super well optimized. We got one-way roads going in some really weird ways. And we got some two-lane roads just arbitrarily because I think dirt roads and agriculture look cool together. It's pretty much the reasoning for why there's dirt roads in there. We need more educated workers. This is actually crazy. Let's go to education here. What's going on here? We have everyone that's eligible for elementary school. It just takes time, right? This is an issue we're just going to have to get over with time. If we look at our high schools, though, we could use another high school. Could use another high school. I'm just kind of wondering, where do we build it that's going to make people happy? Let's build it there. Let's see. Yeah, because that's enough to make these people over here happy. I'm hoping that'll actually make the industry a little bit more happy too, right? Which I think it was. We might even see some buildings leveling up here now that we've placed that high school if we would just wait a second. But we definitely did need a high school because we're getting sort of a bottleneck there. It's tricky too because we are putting in more offices, which most of the educated people are immediately going into the offices instead of going into the commercial areas. Things look a little bit crazier than they actually are. Things look a little bit crazier than they actually are. But here's the thing, guys. I'm starting to kind of think that this tutorial might be coming to a close. If we look at the milestones here, big city, it's gonna start ramping up pretty significantly. We're at 12,000 here. Okay, so 15,000, that's completely reachable. Then it's gonna almost double to 24,000 for just a couple little doodads here, right? Ships. Then we're going to get another large 10,000 pop jump here. Then another large jump. And we're not getting a lot here. Monuments. Monuments are sort of like cheap buildings that you unlock by building certain chains of unique buildings can unlock the monuments. You know, we're going to get the airport here. Actually, there's one after this, isn't there? Oh, no. We're going to get the airport here. I mean, just nuclear power. I mean, this is nothing we haven't seen before. Just a floating cafe, just a different kind of park. You know, harbors, you know, that's cool and all. Yeah, so for the most part, we're not going to be unlocking any new, like, crazy new ideas, right? In fact, the amount of buildings that we're going to be unlocking, you can count on, like, 2 hands. So, for the most part, the game is unlocked. We've created an amazing city that I think not only looks great, functions great, makes tons of money, makes logical sense, too, right? We sort of have this commercial that's ultimately by our freeway system, which is the freeway system is splitting between the commercial here and the industrial. We have offices that are buffering our commercial zones from our residential, and we have a big residential area here that's supporting the actual population for all the jobs that we have. Things are leveling up. Everybody's pretty much happy. If we go to these map modes here, of course, there's a couple ways to go to the map modes. You could just go to the view here. Okay, health. Everything's looking green. Everything's looking light blue and green. That's what we like to see. Green roads, light blue buildings. That's what we like to see. Looking good. We do need to put in some crematoriums, though. Education. So, of course, they're not light blue yet because the people are in the process of being educated. But as long as those roads are looking nice and dark green, then they will become educated in time, right? Fire. Fire is a constant battle, right? The Sims always want more fire, it seems like. It's just nothing we can do about that. Police is looking like a very, very nice light blue everywhere. Very low crime rate, 4%. Look at our Population demographics. Land value. Ooh, we got actually the land values pretty fantastic through a lot of our city here. Just all the different parks and everything that we have, and all the different educational facilities and such. Really increasing the land value. And we haven't really done too many districts. I mean, you don't have to do, not everywhere has to be a district, but thematically you could set them up as districts if you'd like, and name them and such, and you could have themes for them and such. So these are actually saying we could, combination of educated and increasing the land value, and we could get these homes to upgrade. We actually have, it's going to say educate, right? Yep. Because we know that the land value in this region is actually really, really strong. Really strong. Like, these houses have great land value. But they don't have fully educated citizens. Yeah, things are going great. Things are going great. I'm not sure what there really is going to be more to talk about, to be honest. I mean, there's always more to talk about, right? But I think for this modless beginner playthrough, I think we're kind of coming to a close here. Kind of coming to a close. We've covered everything. I mean, anybody that's watched these episodes here, what is it, 9 episodes, I think? I'm just kind of going off the top of my head there, taking a guess, 9 or 10 episodes. Anyone that's done these, I think, is going to be able to create their own city successfully. The funny thing is, I mean, heck, we have 12,000 people. We're making 18,000 a month. I mean, this is a wildly successful city, actually. And we didn't do anything fancy. We didn't do anything fancy. Nothing that can't be replicated in 1,000 different patterns and ways, right? So hopefully this is just a vague outline on the way that you can make a successful city. But the reality is, the cool thing is, once you get to this point, once you have that foundation where your city works, now it's just the world, you know, the world is your oyster now. We can buy these different tiles. We can grow out. We could start building over here. We could actually drill for this oil up here, right? Because we had oil up here. We could, there's oil down here too. We could do whatever we want. We could go up here and get the ore. So we can do whatever we want at this point. We can be, yeah, we could just make a bigger city. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this this series. But I think this might be the final episode. I think what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with Cities Skylines, of course. I think what I want to do is I want to do some mod tutorials for some of the really popular and more detail-oriented mods, and then I also want to do a playthrough that would be heavily commentated, just like this one. Maybe not for complete beginners, but I'd still be explaining every thought process that I have, but it would be with mods, right? It'd be with DLC and with mods, because the DLCs don't really add any complexity, but they add a lot of flavor and replayability. So this game works great without DLCs, but it's just a little bit more spice, right? Variety is the spice of life, so adding the DLCs is gonna help increase the replay value quite a bit, and make the cities aesthetically a little bit more pleasing and give us more creative options is really what those are going to do. And the mods, of course, are going to do that too, but to an even greater extent. The mods are actually more important than the DLCs, and the mods are free, so that's the great part about it. But thanks so much, everybody, for listening to this incredibly long-winded outro here. I really appreciate all the support I've gotten from you guys for this series, and I will see you guys in the next one.